What's up, YouTube? I don't know if you saw my last video or not, but I got a special side project I'm gonna work on. This is my very first car. It is a 2004 Infiniti G35X, the all-wheel drive edition. So as you can see, I got something major going on here. A little backstory. About 2 or 3 years ago, I had a small incident that busted the radiator and the car overheated. Ever since then, I've had a lot of trouble out of it. Just keeps on overheating, can't fix it. I've changed radiator, I've changed radiator cap, I've changed water pump, I've changed thermometer. Final thing I could think of would be the heads or head gaskets. And as I was tearing it down, it got to be quite the nightmare. So to even get the heads off of this, I gotta take the whole front of the motor off, and I can't even guarantee that will fix the issue. So I decided to call it quits with this motor. I know some of you may like it, some of you may not, but I am going to LS swap this G35X Sedan. This came out of a Denali. It has about 170,000 miles on it. It has a 4L60E transmission. I don't plan to put a lot of power to it, so the 4L60E is going to be okay for what I'm doing. I'm going to keep it naturally aspirated, of course. Try to keep the car mostly stock looking. So yeah, that kind of catches you up on what's going on. I had the intake manifold taken off. I was ready to swap the heads and then found out all that it takes to change this. So I decided to go ahead and make the swap. And I'd much rather in the future have to work on an LS motor than the motor of an Infiniti. Because quite frankly, I hate working on Nissan motors. I absolutely hate it. They are the biggest pain to work on. And this car has given me so much trouble in the past, I cannot go even 1 year without having to change sensors or fix something on it just to pass emissions. So with that being said, we are going to pull this motor and we're going to start the process of putting this 5.3 liter Vortec engine in it. There you go. Yeah.
At the cost of the fun. That was way too fast.
Hey! Kids, stay in school.
Well, you too, because you look like me.
Now stay in school and you get to do fun stuff like this.
I'm gonna let her down a little bit.
Go ahead.
Hey, there. Bam! That's all she wrote right there.
Oh no.
What happened?
Bad comeback.
Come on, baby! You get nowhere! Yeah. Oh.
You make me proud.
Woo!
Fucking heavy.
Lord, look at that train. Would you just look at it?
I told you. That's how big the one in the G37 is. That's why I had such a time getting it out.
It's freaking crazy.
On the two-wheel drive, you have a little tail shaft right here.
I had no freaking idea that thing was that huge.
Told you.
That's bigger than the car.
It is. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Like right here. Just very little. Very big.
Twice the power.
Twice the power, twice the headache.
See, here's the thing. VQ35DE, non-rev up. Weakest of the bunch, lowest power of the bunch, easiest to break of the bunch.
Yeah, that goes in the trash. What's going on?
That's a better option for what you're doing right now.
That's a well-spent $1,100 right there.
There it is.
It's gonna be battery.
27 26, maybe 27 inches. 25 and a half.
So we're gonna do some work on the side here. I got a quick jack lift, so now we have plenty of room to work under the car. We've torn the whole motor down, the original motor. We did find that the head gaskets were blown. I'm gonna try to part as much of this as I can out to make a little more cash for this. So we got the old heads off. We got the new motor sitting up here on the lift. Yeah, currently removing the old oil pan. So I'm gonna get that installed here shortly. Put the new oil pan in there. The reason we had to change this oil pan because of the clearance inside here. Overall, this is looking really good. He's still on.
More fire. It's literally just shot fire all over.
Hey guys, so this video is now being taken about a year later. This has taken a long time to complete. So you can see I've actually got my Camaro up next to be built. The Infiniti is actually put back together and running. So here, let me I'll show you under the hood real quick what we currently have. So to close the hood, we had to do a little handwork on it, but all that's going to be painted. We're going to make that nice. So here it is. We got the 5.3 Vortec motor in the G35. Just to give a quick overview of how we did this, we have the throttle cable going from underneath, routed up here. Got the air intake going through here, going back behind the wheel down here. I have the oil filter. I use the stock Vortec radiator hose to route from here to the bottom of the radiator, and just random hoses I had sitting around for these. The fans are actually low profile fans. I have a wired into the Holly. You can see them down here. They're activated by these relays that go back to the Holly, and they'll turn on at a certain temperature. Alright, I'm going to go over just a few more details of what we did. For the exhaust, if you can see, I got straight pipe that goes directly to the diff and then it dumps down. You can see a little bit of the residue from the exhaust that gets on the driveway. We have low profile headers, so they actually divert down far enough to where it doesn't hit the steering column. Inside, we have put the Holly terminator. We put that in this glove compartment here. It doesn't close currently. I need to do a little bit more fitting with that. I'll be able to close that, keep that hidden. I've used Velcro to put the Holly terminator display there. I don't have the RPM tachometer or the temperature gauge up here anymore. Those don't work, but the speedometer and the fuel gauge still work, so I didn't cover up the gauges. I kept them as they are. I use that kind of as my diagnostics of what's going on with the motor. So this was a G35X, so if you know what the X is, it's a all-wheel drive version of the car. Since this now has a 4L60E in it, it's a two-wheel drive. I actually swapped out a lot of the components up front, so it no longer has the front axles, control arms, everything I swapped over to be two-wheel drive version. I had a buddy of mine, I bought his Brembo brakes go on the front. Those actually stop really well. I have no problem stopping in this car now. But of course, there's a lot more to this car than I've shown in the video. If you have questions on it, feel free to drop comments, and I'm usually pretty good at getting back with you, so let me know if you have any questions with this. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, it's actually starting to snow. It's kind of funny, when I started this project, you'll notice it was on a snow day. So, started in the cold, finished in the cold. Anyways, let's go for a ride in it. I'll show you kind of how it drives. Alright, so as far as air conditioning goes, I'd have to get custom-made hosing to get the AC to work correctly. So right now, during summertime, I would just lower the windows. I have a sunroof I can lower. But wintertime, heat works perfect. I got heated seats. Heat works good, so wintertime, this car, very comfortable. Another thing is, this is still the stock shifter that we kind of made work underneath. When I shift into reverse, like that, my reverse lights do not come on. I would need to have a switch or something for this to click into in order to activate the reverse lights. So that's not really anything anybody really talks about. That, I don't know if it's even an issue, but for me, I just have to remember I don't have reverse lights when I put this into reverse. So just make sure you are aware of that in case people are driving behind you and you start backing up and they don't realize you're backing up. But I have reverse, neutral, drive, and then all the way down is third gear. The stock shifter won't go back far enough to go into second and first. So the most I can drop down to manually is third gear. Then I got drive, neutral, reverse, back to park. So let's take this for a ride and see how she runs. It's actually not that loud until you really kick onto it. This car is actually really torquey. I guess being originally a truck motor. Initial takeoff isn't really that quick. It has all its power after about 2,000 or 3,000 RPM. Then it really wants to take off and run. Fan is turned on. When the temperature reaches over 190, the second fan will kick on until it cools back down to 180, maybe 183. Still handles very well. I think this motor is actually lighter than the other one. I think it's smaller. The transmission's about half the size. I didn't do a weight before because I didn't realize I was doing this until after the car was worn down. I might be able to pull up some specs of another G35X Sedan, but I'll do that and get some weights later. Brembo brakes are extremely touchy. It's a really good thing. For it to take a year to build, really we spent a lot of time working at our workplace. We really didn't have much time to spend working on the car. The time we did have spent working on the car, we would quickly run into issues that we'd have to order something and wait for that to come in, work a little bit more, order something else, wait for it to come in. So yes, it was a lot of work to fabricate and build this car. Couldn't have done it without my buddy Scott and Jesse. I mean, hats off to them, they practically built this for me. I'm not really that skilled to do stuff like this. They did awesome. We'll do a quick 0 to 60 here. Pretty sure I spun off the start though, so. Yeah, this car has definitely been a challenge to build. Definitely took a long time, but overall I'm extremely happy with it. It drives really well. So it just has the last few words of advice for this. These engines are very well known to leak oil out of the back seal. Go ahead and change that out, because right now, I don't know if you can tell, but I have a ton of oil underneath from where I run it, and the oil's going through the motor and it leaks out of that seal. It's not bad enough that I need to pull the motor again and do it right now, but later on, if I do any modifications to it, that will be the first thing I do. My truck here has the same motor and it leaks just like that also. I know it's a known issue, but if you ever put in a 5.3 Vortec motor, definitely fix that seal. I think that's all for today. I'm getting right back onto this now. I'll be sending more videos. I know I've been kind of absent lately. There's a lot going on, work and everything. But I'll be going back to the White Tiger, showing the complete build process of that. Here's a little sneak peek of what we're about to put in. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.